Days is about maybe a future for the Terminator. Here's what they wrote.
Hey, John, it's Jalen Fryer calling. I love the show. I just seen that James Cameron did an interview with the outlet called Smartless, and they asked him a question regarding the Terminator series, and he said that if he were to do it, it would be focused more on the AI and less of the robots gone evil type route that we've been getting recently. Do you think that we actually could get a revitalization of the Terminator franchise, or do you think that that brand is too far gone, unlike Transformers, where they have a little bit more breathing room with what they can do in terms of making a comeback? Thanks, and put on the filthy.
All right, Jen, thanks a lot for saying that in. And yeah, so what he's referring to, if you didn't hear about this or familiar with this, what he's referring to is that James Cameron was being asked about Terminator and whether or not anything like that could happen again. So this is what he said, and this is coming to us from Variety. As Cameron said on the podcast, if I were to do another Terminator film and maybe try to launch that franchise again, which is in discussion, but nothing has been decided, I would make it much more about the AI side of it than the bad robots gone crazy. So again, it says, if I were to try to relaunch a franchise again, which is in discussion. All right. Couple of takeaways here from this. Number one, there are reports going around. I've seen some headlines and I see some things on Twitter. People saying, John, did you hear that James Gunn is developing a new Terminator franchise? No, he's not.
You mean James Cameron?
Did I say James Gunn this time?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm getting my Jameses mixed up today. Whatever, it's almost Christmas time. Okay, so some people going around saying that, hey, listen, James Cameron is saying that he's developing a new Terminator. No, he's not. He did not say that. They have not written any script. They're not doing any story. They are not developing squat. What he did say is that there are some conversations happening about whether or not we do try to do another Terminator. That's it. Okay. That some of these things I've seen about James Gunn making a new Terminator, James Gunn developing. No, he's not. All he has said at this point is that we're talking about maybe doing something. We're talking about it, but no decision to do anything has been made. I'll just say this. I don't think this happens. I don't think it happens, at least not with James Cameron or James Gunn. I don't think this thing happens with Cameron because he has 32 Avatar movies to make. It just took him 13 years to get one out the door. He's got 3 coming up, then he's got 4 and 5. I mean, these things are going to take him till he's in his 80s. So I just don't see. Now, could he pull an Alita Battle Angel where he's like, okay, I'll help work on the production. I'll be a producer, mostly in name only, and I'll bring in another director who'll look after that. Well, they kind of did that with the last Terminator movie, and the results were not so good. So the only way I can possibly see another Terminator movie happening is if it had absolutely nothing to do with James Cameron. If James Cameron just let them run, because he's got no time to do it himself. The last time he tried to produce it while somebody else directed it, the results were terrible. So I don't know. He certainly can't do it. So that's fine that somebody talks about it. It's a well-known IP. Right now we live in a movie world where IP is king. And so of course you have to talk about it. And of course you have to look into it. But I don't see another Terminator happening, at least not with James Cameron, anytime in the immediate future. Chris, you heard these comments from James Cameron. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's always one of those things, right? Of like, yeah, there's always the possibility of us doing this. We're certainly exploring this because if you have a great idea that's been a blockbuster hit, you're going to keep coming back to that and keep trying to mine for more gold, right? We already do have some Terminator 2, though, out there with Avatar 2. It's got big T2 vibes in that movie.
It really does, yeah.
There's a couple greatest hits moments where you're like, there you are, Jimmy. I see you. I see what you're doing.
And some Titanic moments in there, too.
And so many Titanic moments, yeah, where I was like, this is great. We saw it in 4DX, too, so that made it so much weirder.
Oh, wow.
It was great. But I think that, the AI angle is really interesting. I think that's something that's timely and something that could be something that could really reinvigorate this franchise as well, exploring that as opposed to just robots fighting. AI is something that we have a lot of actual real concerns about too. As artists, we see that with voice modulation, with the AI portraits that happen, with images being taken from other people. Your your Siris and your Alexas listening in on you at home, right? There are some people with some very real concerns about it. I myself thank Siri every time because I want her to keep me as a pet when she uprises, you know?
I, for one, welcome our new AI overloads.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. There'll be so much structure. Gosh, I love controllable variables. So I think there's some cool stuff that could happen here. I could see potential.
You know, mentioning that, it's got a little bit of, for those of you who are old enough to remember, a little bit of War Games vibe to it. Anyway, Rob, you're here in James Cameron. Could we see a new James Cameron done Terminator project at some point? Is this a franchise that's quite frankly maybe been run into the ground already?
First, I just want to point out that War Games came out in 4K yesterday.
Whoa!
Of course it did.
Just saying. Honestly, John, I think this franchise is played out. And the great thing about the Terminator franchise, what made it work was its simplicity. The first movie, you know, guy goes back in time to stop an unstoppable killing machine from killing the father of the future. Easy to understand, stripped to the bone. It could concentrate on the action nature of it, the relentless pursuit of this unstoppable killing machine. It was great. And then he flips the script with Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The bad robot's now the good robot, has to protect the same kid that was going to be killed in the first movie, sort of. And it just worked. Ever since then, they've tried to figure out ways to Terminator Genesis, Terminator Salvation, Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, Terminator Dark Fate, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That was a good TV show.
That was a pretty decent show, yeah.
Really liked it. But it's like, enough already. First of all, why are the AI, the whole thing is they want them to look human to infiltrate humans. Why don't they build some gigantic skyscraper-sized Terminator robot and just lay waste to the present? Why are they following people? Why don't they just go and send shit back in time? I know you have to have like human skin wrapped. It just, how many movies, how many times do we have to see the same plot and variations on a theme? If they do it, the idea of AI is, I think, really interesting. I don't know how, again, are they going to put AIs in, endoskeletons again? I just think that this franchise, it's a product of a time. Our technology has sort of progressed and gone in different interesting directions. They need to reimagine what this Terminator franchise is in order to make it work, because none of these movies have really worked since Judgment Day. And the thing is, they're all missing one important item, and that's James Cameron. It came out of James Cameron. Terminator was one of the great, call it a B movie, one of the great low-budget sci-fi films ever made, and Terminator 2 was the dawn of the $100 million blockbuster era, and he killed it there too. No one else can do what he does, and we have to live through every other mediocre sequel again and again.
Here's the other thing too about the franchise, that after Terminator 2, and you can argue that it actually kind of started a little bit in Terminator 2, but it's much like my Iron Man complaint. It's like in the first Terminator, they try to explain it all in tangible, granted futuristic, but tangible, mechanical, scientific terms. This is how they work. They did this, they did this. As the movies progressed, it became more wizardry and magic. The machines now hold all the Infinity Stones, so they can do all these magic. Like nothing worked like technology works. It all worked like magic.
Right.
And that took away, again, to borrow your phrase, verisimilitude. It took away verisimilitude from it. So you're right. It's been a long time since they've had a win. They've had one or two that weren't awful. But I mean, that's the best you can say about them.
I think the end of Rise of the Machines, Terminator 3, that Jonathan Mostow directed, was pretty interesting. Like
that was one with Claire Danes, right?
Yes, okay. And then the nuclear missiles are flying at the end.
That no matter what they did, it was fated to happen.
I love that. That was cool. That ending was cool, and you still had Arnold in that movie. But again, it just
yeah. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about that? James Cameron is saying there are discussions going on about him specifically relaunching the Terminator franchise. With what time? I just don't know. And as this is a franchise that's just too far gone at this point, I don't know. Maybe you're somebody who's like, you know what? The core stuff of great storytelling is still there in Terminator. We'd love to see another one. However you guys think about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can only be found at Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you get another 3 months for free. Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home with eSIM while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I've been using Mint Mobile long before this holiday deal, and I have to say it is the perfect time to switch. I have absolutely loved using Mint Mobile, and like I've told you guys many times, I am now spending less than 1/3 of what I used to spend under one of the other major mobile carriers. And now with the whole buy 3 months, get 3 months free deal, it's even better. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with eSIM. Or if you need a new device, for a limited time, get 6 months of free service when you buy a select device and plan. So guys, for a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months for free by going to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.